Breaking news as we come on the air at 4 o'clock. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Lorenzo Hall. So with a 9-3 vote, the D.C. Council has decided to move forward with the proposed RFK Stadium deal. So in the last 40 minutes, the council members took the first of 2 votes needed to get the deal done to bring the Commanders back to D.C. And you can see how it all shakes out here. This is how the council voted. Council members you see right there on the left, Brianna Doe, Matt Fruman, and Robert White were the only members to vote no. Our Rafael Sanchez-Cruz has been following these negotiations from the beginning. And Rafa, after several delays today alone and a lot of back and forth, there were even more surprises today. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right, Lorenzo. There were surprises, but I guess that's the ongoing theme during these negotiations. Again, there were several surprises, including Councilmember Robert White and Matt Fruman voting no on the deal. But despite those 3 dissenting votes that you mentioned, they got the supermajority that they needed with 9 votes. They actually just needed 8 to move this forward. So the proposal that moved forward was the revised version that was agreed upon by the Commanders and Chairman Phil Mendelssohn. This deal includes the additional 18% parking tax, with those funds going to the city. The negotiators on the council say this revised version could bring in an additional $674 million in revenue over the next 30 years, money that was not in the mayor's deal with the Commanders. So what solidified some of these votes? In the final hours, the Commanders agreed to binding commitments known as project labor agreements and labor peace agreements on the stadium and on the hotels in the mixed-use development. So prior to the agreement, the NFL team had only agreed to a PLA on the stadium and 1 hotel. This agreement now requires the use of 51% of DC worker participation in the mixed-use development agreement. However, a new issue has surfaced that is and it's bound to come up between now and the second vote. Stricter penalties for the Commanders if they do not meet their deadlines on delivering this mixed-use development. This means the commercial and housing developments, not the stadium. We asked Councilmember Robert White about this issue, and this is what he had to say.
My amendments didn't pass, but the majority of members said they are concerned about the lack of enforceable timelines on housing, which is really important to the city. Barclays Stadium, 22 years later, still doesn't have their housing. So before second reading, I think we have enough members to get an amendment on that.
Can you imagine if we continue to have 180 acres with a falling down stadium surrounded by asphalt? And the last year when I sat across the table from Josh Harris and we said, like, we can do this if we can do this in the next year. And we set out on a course to make that happen. And so we're getting real close to that.
Yeah, and without a doubt, a huge win for Mayor Muriel Bowser and an early birthday present because her birthday is tomorrow. We did ask her thoughts about any of these stricter penalties for the Commanders if they don't meet their deadlines. She says it's something that she's willing to work with and is going to keep an eye on ahead of the next vote, Lorenzo.
Between the birthday and this vote today, I bet Mayor Bowser is going to be partying hard tonight, Rafa. Just for a little clarity here, we have this first vote today. We have that second vote in mid-September. So what really happens between now and then? Is this essentially a done deal?
So the council will actually go on recess, but essentially they were very clear that there are still some things that they want to work with and work on, particularly when it comes to these stricter penalties. So it's possible that we will still see modifications to this legislation before it goes up for that second vote in September. Again, these are agreements that they have to make with the Commanders so that they're guaranteed to have those votes for the second vote. Another thing that's going to throw a curveball in there is that Councilmember-elect Trayon White will be now sworn in, and he will also have another vote ahead of that second vote in September. So a lot of things could still change, and they made it very clear that there will be changes, and they're going to keep a close eye on these deadlines for the construction, particularly when it comes to housing and the affordable housing units. We're talking about 6,000 units and 1,800 affordable housing units, Lorenzo.
Yeah, reminder here, this is not just about a stadium, but a community there in Ward 7. As Mayor Bowser puts it, this will be a campus, which will include fields for sports for the youth, as well as shopping and affordable housing as well. We will continue to follow this. Thank you, Rafa. And as we've mentioned before, we've covered this vote every step of the way. And ahead on the news at 4:30, what it means for union jobs, new housing, and the commander's return to D.C. For updates anytime, download the WUSA 9 app on your phone and watch us anytime on the free WUSA 9 Plus streaming app. All right, some other